Combining responsive styling, rugged propulsion, and crossover styling, the Hoka Skyline Float X is at home on the trails or on the street. Ready for off-trail adventures and then beers with the bros, the Hoka Skyline Float X is ready for it all. So let's dive in and see what the Hoka Skyline Float X is all about. Well, hey, what's up everyone? Welcome back to the channel. My name is Steven. First, I'm gonna let you know that Hoka did send the Skyline Float X to me to review. They actually sent it a little while ago. I've had this for a while. They're not gonna see this ahead of time. They're not gonna tell me what to say. I'm gonna give you my completely honest opinion just like always. Well, first we're gonna start with the stats of the Skyline Float X. It is a hybrid hiker, which means that it can tackle those, trail adventures, but then also cruise around town. With it being a hiker, it's, kind of stiff and rigid. There's not a lot of flexibility. I'm using a lot of strength here to try to flex the shoe. As for the stack height, this thing is tall. The men's came in at 43 millimeters in the rear and 38 millimeters in the front for a 5 millimeter drop, whereas a woman's shoe comes in at 42 millimeters in the rear and 37 millimeters in the front for that same 5 millimeter drop. This is by far the tallest shoe of any kind that I have ever tested. Now with all of that stack height, there is a little extra weight. My men's size 11, I threw it on the scale, weighed in at 15.5 ounces or 440 grams. A woman's size 8 weighs in at 12.6 ounces or 356 grams. Now since this is a hybrid hiker, that's an okay weight. We're obviously not gonna go wear this to go race a 50K, but you could if you wanted. As for the fit, the length is typical Hoka, so whatever size you normally wear in Hoka, you should be okay in the Skyline Float X. And finally, I should mention that the Skyline Float X is made of plant-based, recycled, and natural materials. This is definitely the most bio-friendly shoe I've ever tested. So if natural, plant-based, recycled materials are your things, this shoe is for you. Hey, before we get to the rest of the details, do me a favor, scroll down, click that thumbs up button. It really does help out a lot. That'd be really awesome. Maybe click subscribe as well, and you'll see more shoe reviews like this in the future. The upper of the Skyline Float X is an engineered air mesh material that is made of 60% recycled yarn. On the foot, it is very comfortable to wear, and you can definitely tell it is made for long adventures. I should note too, there are also quite a few overlays on the front of the shoe, the back of the shoe, some up here, which we'll talk about in just a minute. Add a little bit more support and durability in key areas. The toe box is pretty typical Hoka toe box, which is perfectly fine for my narrow to average width foot. And up here in the toe box, this vamp material right here is actually made of 24% recycled content. Moving on up to the midfoot here, again, no issues for hot spots, any kind of rubbing for my foot felt just fine. However, I do want to let you know that these, I did not see it at least, I don't believe they are available in a wide. So if you have a wider foot, these may not work for you. The laces are made of 100% recycled polyester lace and webbing, excluding the little aglet here, which is this piece at the end of the shoelace designed to keep those easier to get in and out of as you lace the shoe. The laces are also round, which is different than their running shoes, which has typically a lay flat lace. However, I've had no issues with these coming untied or issues at all, just it's been worked out pretty well. There are also some pretty significant overlays here at the eye stays, which is where those laces go through. And then as well at the top, there are 2 different holes so you can tie that runner's knot should you need to do that. The tongue is also really nicely padded. It's quite comfortable and it comes up a good length as well. So I never had to worry about those laces digging into the top of my foot. It was very comfortable. And moving on to the rear of the shoe, the heel collar here is really pretty nicely padded. It's quite comfortable. And it does look maybe a little bit shallow here on the lateral side. However, your foot does sit down deep inside pretty well, so it was plenty comfortable, no issues. And the heel counter in the back, also a little flexible at the top, but down low it's pretty stiff. No concern for my Achilles. I had no rubbing, hot spots, and overall it just fit really well. Well, overall the upper is very comfortable. The lockdown has been nice and secure, and I can definitely tell this upper is geared for those rugged trail adventures. The midsole of the Skyline Float X is really quite nice, and it is packed with recycled and natural materials. The first part under your foot is going to be this sock liner top cloth, this black portion right here, and it's made of 100% recycled polyester content. The sock liner itself is 50% soybean based, and the insole is made of 87% recycled polyester. Clearly Hoka is going for sustainability with the Skyline Float X. Now underneath that is the dual density 30% sugarcane EVA midsole foam with an 89% castor oil-based Pebax plate sandwiched in between those 2 layers, which is designed to provide smooth and efficient strides with each step. Now the Skyline Float X does feel really, really nice on the foot, and part of that is due to the insanely high stack height. You got 43 millimeters of that midsole foam. It feels very comfortable. And that bio-based Pebax plate, which you can see peeking through the shoe right there, really serves 2 purposes, and I'm not sure if that was intentional from Hoka or not. Firstly, it provides some responsiveness, and now obviously this is not a Tecton X X2. It's not going to give you that kind of propulsion, but it's not supposed to be a Tecton. It is a hiking shoe after all. The second great thing about that Pebax plate is it kind of acts as a rock plate, which is really important in a hiking shoe. Maybe not as important in a hiking shoe with 43 millimeters of stack height, but nonetheless, it helps give you a little extra protection. Now, you might think that with all of that stack height, they may feel a little unstable. However, that was not the case for me. They actually felt really stable hiking on rocky trails, and even when running, they felt really stable underfoot. And if you followed my channel for any length of time, you know that I have struggled with ankle rolls in the past. But I'm happy to report that the Skyline Float X has felt quite stable. Now, Hoka does claim that this swallowtail in the back, this kind of, it looks like a swallowtail, is supposed to increase some stability, and maybe, who knows, maybe it's actually working. Overall, I think Hoka nailed this midsole for a hiking shoe. It's responsive enough and stable enough for those that are wanting to fast pack or maybe do some short trail runs, and it has great cushioning and protection for those hiking for hours on end. The outsole of the Skyline Float X here, quite simply, is it's amazing. It has the Vibram XS Trek outsole with these 5mm lugs and offers amazing grip and durability. The Vibram XS Trek is a technical compound that allows great overall performance for multi-sport activities, whether that's hiking, orienteering, mountain biking, snow sports, and even water sports. Now, this XS Trek compound from Vibram, the principal characteristics of that are really for flexibility and for grip on wet surfaces. So really, this should be pretty phenomenal just about everywhere. The 5mm lugs here are really, they're big and they're beefy and have been nothing short of amazing so far, to be honest with you. Now, I've tested them on mountain trails, rocky trails, even a little bit of snow, and honestly, this has been really pretty phenomenal on all surfaces. Really, there's not much else to say about this Vibram XS Trek outsole. It's awesome. Now, the price of the Hoka Skyline Float X, it retails for $175 US. Now, to be honest, I typically use my old trail running shoes as hiking shoes. I've never actually gone out and bought a specific pair of shoes for hiking. So I'm not sure how these would compare to other hiking shoes out there. However, I would say these are more of that premium type category because they have that Pebax plate in there. But 175 bucks is still a lot of money. Well, the bottom line of the Skyline Float X is it's a pretty darn good hybrid hiker. I know lots of people out there that through hike the Appalachian Trail, Colorado Trail, Pacific Crest Trail, whatever it is, tend to use trail running shoes. I know the Hoka Speedgoat line has been very popular. Ultra has been very popular as well, but I can see these being right at home on a long through hike like that. I think they're going to be more durable than the Hoka Speedgoat and be quite a bit more cushioned as well over that long haul. So if you were looking for a hiking or fast packing shoe to give you awesome grip and protection, and one that's probably going to last you quite a while, then I highly recommend taking a look at the Hoka Skyline Float X. Now, I have tons of experience reviewing and running in trail shoes, but like I said, not a whole lot in dedicated hiking shoes. So I would love to hear your opinion. Have you tried the Skyline Float X? What did you think about it? How did it do on different types of terrain as a hiking shoe? Definitely let us know below in the comments. I know I would like to know, and so would everybody else out there, I'm sure. Now, another trail running shoe that I think would be right at home on, say, the Appalachian Trail or another long through hike is the Mafate Speed 4. So go and click on the full review of that shoe right over here. Take a look at that. Thank you all so much, and I'll see you over there.